Today I'm going to be doing basically just a little walk around and review of my 2021 YZ250FX. Ordered this bike in late September. It was delivered in late November. Picked it up early December, so it was about a 2-month wait for it. I've got about 7 hours on this bike. I've ridden it 3 rides so far. We're running eastern Pennsylvania, mostly coal areas. I'm just gonna basically go over some of the things I bought for it and put on, and how I like the bike, and some of the things about it that it offers. So to start off, went with this TM Design indestructible rear disc guard. Usually I run a solid disc guard. I don't know how this is going to work and whether it'll even break, so I'm giving it a try. On the sides I have the Acerbis frame guards just to give it a nice look, break up all the aluminum. Enduro Engineering skid plate with a linkage guard for all the rocks that we slide over. On the front we have bulletproof radiator guards. These things are a lot more solid than the Devals that I have on my old WR. But in my opinion necessary for the type of woods that we ride in. So these Geomax Dunlop MX3Ss that came on the bike, I was all prepared to pull them off and put on heavy duty tubes and our tried and true tires, which, you know, is the MX59 on the front and either a Shinko Cheater or RC Trials tire on the back. But I rode these for a day and they're actually not bad tires, so I've decided to keep them on. They seem to be wearing pretty well. They definitely stick on the rocks and the mud. Probably would not buy them again. I'll stay with what we've run with for several years, and but not a bad tire. I didn't have to change them. Got these Enduro Engineering bark busters. Also a necessity when you're riding single track through some woods. The only thing I don't like about them is that this brake line doesn't really ride in that channel. So if I would hit this and it would go up, it could possibly break that banjo bolt. So I need to look if there's a way to make that a little better. When you get bark busters, try and get the threaded inserts. Because these are extra large bars, the standard tapered, or the standard inserts, threaded inserts, didn't work, and I had to go and get a special one made by G2 Ergonomics, threaded handguard mounts. They're actually nylon, and that makes them really solid. When you hit so many times, the expanding ones would just come loose on me or fall out, and it was quite a nuisance. Running the Pro Taper clamp-on grips, pretty easy install. I pulled the old ASV shorty clutch lever off my WR. This thing's really nice. It's adjustable, basically mounted right on. The brake lever, however, did not work, so I need to get ASV shorty lever for that also. But I really like these levers compared to the factory ones. One of the next options I have to install on this bike is the Scott steering stabilizer. I was going to do a sub mount, but then I have to raise these handlebars, probably get different handlebars to lower it. So I think I'm just going to go above mount right here, and I'll probably modify my bar pad to hide all this, just so I don't get hurt by this stabilizer, you know, sitting way up high on the top. But a lot of the guys I ride with use these. Some people say, hey, you don't need them. We clip a lot of trees while we're riding, and in our opinion, it helps. So this suspension's supposed to be really good on this bike, and I can tell you from my 05 WR, which has similar shocks and forks, is good, but this is amazing. I haven't ridden a lot of bikes, but what an improvement. This bike was set up so stiff out of the factory that I had to turn the compression and rebound down by 6 clicks, which made a big difference. But I think I need to do more. I'm in the process of tweaking it, and it's definitely improving. It's certainly rideable, but man, out of the box, it was so firm. Here is the cold start choke. So when it's cold out, push that in. If you give it a good rev, it shuts off. Bike will idle for 7 minutes, then shut off by itself if it has to. A lot of folks with the older FX, 250FXs, say they have hard starting issues. I was hoping this bike would not have hard starting issues, but it does. I read that, you know, some guys on the internet, they resolve hard starting issues on these bikes with a different battery, and most of the people I ask say it did solve their problem. Some people say the bike just has to get worn in a little bit, which I don't know, I kind of find that hard to believe, but we'll see. I'll run this battery till I have to get a new one, but if it gets too annoying, I'll put a new battery in. I know the height on this bike, I'm 5'9", is very tall. I'm definitely on my tippy toes when I'm riding this. I don't feel comfortable doing turnarounds sometimes. So I basically bought a Seat Concepts lowering seat for it. Should drop it about 3/4 of an inch. As you can see, I already ripped my seat. That was from the first day I rode it. This seat is similar to my WR. It's just so hard that it just cuts your day short and ruins it. It's very annoying, and I'm looking forward to a nice comfort seat on this thing so I can ride longer and enjoy the day. I don't know if you can see, but there's the gas tank, and you can see the fuel level right under there. So this bike basically comes with the Yamaha Power Tuner app. It's an application you'll install on your phone. It lets you do several things. It's only accessible when the bike's on, so I usually just power it on a little. As you can see, there's the low fuel light. It comes with a check engine light. So after you power it on, you basically see the GYTR Power Tuner. It's a wireless signal that you connect to. See if I can get my shadow out of there. So now I'm connected. I can go back to the app, and I can select the bike, and it gives me 4 different menus. Basically, the first one is maintenance mode, which gives you total running time. I got 7 hours on here. Basically reminds you with reminders when you should change your engine oil, your oil filter. You can add other details and reminders in here. The other screen is the monitor, and it's real time. It'll tell you the engine speed, the throttle percentage that you're using, battery, coolant temperature, air intake temperature, all that good stuff. Kind of interesting. So you can see it's 42 degrees here today. The other option is a race log, which allows you to create a log of the track you're at, the conditions, air temperature, air pressure, and then you can add the maps you used, what tires you had, the gearing. Like, it's got compression, rebound settings, all the stuff that you had set up for that day in that race. Then the last option is the mapping. So it comes with these four, but a gentleman on the internet shared his. The four settings that come from the factory are not bad, but they were just not really functional in the type of woods I ride in. So I grabbed this smooth map off a gentleman on the internet, which helps me, made a big difference in single track riding. There's a whole science to this. I don't quite understand it all yet, but it does make a difference. And then my second map is the hard-hitting map, and I use this when I do a hill climb or some straightaways or some double track that I really want to hit it on. So when you first get the bike, under this cover is a wireless transmitter. You need to go in there and get the serial number, and then that allows you to connect wirelessly to the transmitter once the bike is powered on, and you add the network to your phone. Pretty simple. It is a loud bike. It's I'm going to leave the engine stock. I'll leave the pipe stock. Everything's stock. I don't need it any faster than it is. The throttle response is amazing. It's the first fuel-injected bike I've ever really put some hours on. You can lighten the front end, no problem, especially based on the map that you're running. So how do I like this bike? Well, it's my first new bike. I'm coming off almost a 15-year-old bike. Of course, I love it. The throttle response is great. It sticks to the trail like everyone says. As I slowly get it tuned for rock gardens, I'm just floating right over. I just wish I had more energy to do more with this bike. But hey, at our age, I'm just glad to be out riding. Hopefully this helps you, and whether you decide to get one or not, maybe it'll change your mind. Regardless, happy trails.